And he said, thank you. And as he was leaving the store, the door hasn't even closed yet. He's walking out the door. And so I didn't walk around the counter. I ran around the counter. And when I walked out that door, this guy's gone. Completely nowhere to be found. There's not a car. There's not a bicycle. There's not a motorcycle. There's not a person. There's just streetlights and mosquitoes.
This is Touched by Heaven, everyday encounters with God. It's those moments when heaven and earth collide. And we see God in these encounter stories with angels, divine intervention, prophetic dreams, visions, near-death experiences. Welcome. I'm your host, Trapper Jack. What do you call an angel who's bad at flying? A frequent faller. Stop it, kid. All right, we have angels. Well, it seems to be angel stories in this episode, talking to three gentlemen and their angel stories. Sometimes, at least in this episode, it would appear that angels have lessons to teach. Things like when something is owed. Owed. When something is owed. And also, sometimes it's just to say, hey, we got your back. We're ready. We're ready for your upcoming next big event. That's in this episode, too. So we're going to be talking to Nick, John, and Danny. All right, let's start with Nick, he happens to be one of my favorite instructors at the Encounter School of Ministry. And a while back, he was telling this story in class, and I thought, oh, come on, the podcast here, you know? How you doing there, Nick?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Well, it's funny. We were at Encounter School, and you told a story, and it kind of fits in with some recent stories. I want to kind of combine your story with their stories, and a little encounter moment, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit.
Well, I was 38 years old, and I had finally opened my eyes to the reality that God loved me and Jesus existed. I was born Catholic and probably baptized within a week of being born and went to mass all the time. But then I turned 15, started driving. The world took over and my faith diminished, went away. And so by the time I was 38 years old, I was feeling pretty guilty about how I had lived my previous life, things I'd done and things I hadn't done. One day at work, it was break time, and I usually check my email at break time, and there's this thing that would come. It was an email called Daily Catholic Wisdom. It had not shown up yet, which was actually strange. It was always there early. It was usually there around 7, 8 o'clock, but I would wait till 9:30 to read it. I decided to go next door. There was a drugstore next door where I could get a snack or something, so I started walking over there. And this is inner city Cleveland, lots of wide open areas. I was walking over, and there was this elderly lady, I guess is the best way you could say it. She also looked like she was homeless. She had one of those shopping carts that caught my attention because my mom had one when I was a kid. You fold it flat and like hang it on the wall when you get home. And it was packed with what looked like all her belongings, blankets and stuff. She was probably all of maybe 5'2" tall. So I got this feeling that I should give her all the money I had on me. And I reached in my pocket and I grasped the paper money I had. And as I'm walking up to her, I'm second guessing, wondering if I should give it to her. I needed to walk past her anyway to get to the store. She was up against the side of the store. And as I'm walking past her, we never made eye contact, but all of a sudden she sticks her hand out. So I'm like, okay. So I pulled the money out of my pocket, gave it to her, and I don't even remember if we exchanged words or not. And I turned around. I probably got about 6, 7 steps in the other direction, and I heard some change jingle in my pocket and realized I did not really give her all the money I had on me. So I turned back around, but she wasn't there. And the building was pretty long. I mean, it would have probably taken her 40, 50, 30 steps at least to get to the other end. And she was not there. So I thought maybe she did get around the corner. So I walked a little faster, got around the corner there. She was not there. And it's a wide open area. And there was nowhere else she could go. I looked all around, so I went toward the back of the drugstore. She was not there either. I thought to myself, she must be inside. So I went inside and I walked and looked down every aisle. She was nowhere to be seen. I just didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, that's that. I don't understand how she could have actually slipped away, but she did. So I went back to work, and at that point, that email had arrived. And I opened it up, and it said, there will be times when your angel will come to you to give you opportunities to give alms in recompense for past transgressions.
Oh, gee.
And yeah, the hair on the back of my neck went straight up. And
Oh.
it was like, oh my goodness, did I just see my guardian angel?
Or a special assignment angel. I mean, it
Yeah.
could be anything, you know?
Who knows? Right, right. Yeah.
And what'd she do
Yeah.
with the money?
Yeah. I don't know. It all
That's what
belongs to God anyway.
always cracks me about these moments is, okay, somehow it all ends up in somebody's the right pocket somewhere. It just ends up someplace
Right.
else. But that's
Yeah.
interesting. That is so
Yeah.
interesting.
No, it's right next door to where I work. So I think for the next 2 or 3 months, I was constantly staring there on my way to and from work, right? Just waiting to see if I could catch a glimpse of this person, again, and
Yeah.
never happened.
Wow. Is there a moment in your life where things kind of started reversing? You mentioned you went away, then you kind of came back. Was there a moment or a string of things? What brought you back?
I had something personal that I needed an answer to, and I felt that this was impossible, but I finally got on my knees one night and said a prayer and got in bed, went to bed, and woke up the next morning. I don't know if a couple days went by or how much time went by, but here that prayer was answered. And when that was answered, I was like, oh my goodness. And I had this thought, remember when you prayed? And so God came alive at that point. I
Yeah.
had a Bible on my nightstand that probably hadn't been opened in 15 years. And I just started reading it, and the rest is history.
Isn't that something? Did you open up the beginning or just any particular page?
No, started from the beginning, very beginning, Old Testament.
I mean, now you're amazing. You're one of my favorite people at the Encounter School. You have a beautiful prophetic
You're
gift.
so kind.
No,
Thank
you
you.
do. You've said things over me that just have blown me away. I've saved some of them when
Hmm.
you've prayed, and things come out of your mouth, man. And it's like, whew, you know.
It's interesting because I don't remember a lot of that. I probably remember like 2% of it, maybe. That's it.
And we
But
also, as you know, the baptism in the Holy Spirit, which probably a very small percentage of Christians have received, is one of the most powerful things you
oh,
could ever receive. It just takes you back a little bit. And I've referenced this on the podcast of the book of Acts. And when Peter's telling everybody, hey, we're not drunk. It's 9 a.m. Like, who would ever drink at 9 a.m., right? But there's so much joy. There is so much
yeah,
fun with God, if I can put it that way. And there's healings going on, and there's people saying prophetic things. And it's like,
yeah,
it's just a place you haven't been before. And me growing up in a very, as you know, same as you, stoic Catholic church, and this
yes,
part of the Catholic Church is kind of coming to life more and more, and it's remarkable that normal people like you and me, Nick, are given something special from the Holy Spirit.
it's an amazing time to be part of it.
Yeah, and I think God's ramping it up because of things that are ramping up from the other side. More grace is given, right, during these kinds of
Yeah,
times, right? I
yeah,
certainly see
right.
it. I hear it. I hear it here on the podcast too. Yeah.
You and all the rest of the students are so amazing. It's so encouraging to see, and especially the young people, to see young people coming.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something going on.
Yeah,
There's
for
something going
sure.
on. Thanks, Nick. And let's see. I want to hear this again. What is the lesson? What did the email say?
There will be times when your angel will come to you to give you opportunities to give alms in recompense for past transgressions.
Well, that seems to tie into story number 2 from John.
I had, I'd done wrong. I mean, I stole a carton of cigarettes, and I shouldn't have done that, but I did it from the store. I took those cigarettes.
Well, maybe once again, something is owed. Let's find out more about this from John.
I've been a Christian for, I guess, since I was about 9 years old. I'm drawn to God, I guess you can say. I live in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I had no intention of, in the back of my mind, talking to you in person. I just felt I needed to share my story. And so the past several days when I walk, several days, several weeks when I've been walking, I've gone back to episode 1, and so I'm kinda I think there's what, 400 or something?
Yep.
So I'm kinda getting through there, so
So do you listen to the latest and then also to the early ones and then working
I
your way to the
do,
middle or
I
what?
do. If the latest one on a Monday when I'm walking, if it's out, then of course it's out. I'll listen to that first, and then I'll go back and
Work your way the other
go
way.
back to where I was, yeah.
And what's your story, John?
I went to college, and then my life started turning a little bit. I really wasn't doing what I ought to be doing. I guess we all kinda trip every now and then, and college was part of it for me. I was about 20 years old, and I was working one late evening at a convenience store. And this is kind of when you think about this store, it's kind of just off the beaten path. It's between the highway and a neighborhood. It was just kind of there by itself. Just a single building with a parking lot and nothing else around but woods. And earlier, I'd done wrong. I mean, I stole a carton of cigarettes, and I shouldn't have done that, but I did it from the store. I took those cigarettes, and I was kind of under conviction for that, but I was just not really paying attention to it.
But it's playing on you a little bit.
It's playing on me. It's kind of wearing on me. I did something I shouldn't have done, and I realized that, but I did it, and you own up to it, and you just carry on. And so, anyway, I'd kept it to myself. I hadn't shared it with anybody. And then late one evening, it was close to closing time. It was about, I don't know, 9:45, 10 o'clock. This guy comes in the front door there, and he's pretty disheveled looking. He's got ratty hair. His clothes are ragged and torn and kind of baggy, and he's probably in his late 20s. And he reaches in his pocket, and I remember this like it was yesterday. And he pulls out a handful of change, and it was 37 cents. And he said, "What can this buy me?" Well, I'm looking around and thinking, "Well, there's nothing in the store that I can really sell for 37 cents." And I said, "Well, are you thirsty?" And he said, "Yeah." And so I gave him one of those. I took an icy cup and I filled it up to what I thought was about 37 cents worth of stuff, and I sold it to him. And he said, "Thank you." And as he was leaving the store, I mean, the door hasn't even closed yet. He's walking out the door. And I started coming under conviction. I said, "You can steal a carton of cigarettes and you've got money in your pocket and you can't buy this guy anything to eat. That's not right. You need to make it right." And so I didn't walk around the counter. I ran around the counter, and it's really not like 6 or 7 feet to come around the counter to the door. And when I walked out that door, this guy's gone, completely nowhere to be found. I
Yeah.
mean, when I say it was the door, it wasn't 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds. I was behind him. He's gone. There's not a car. There's not a bicycle. There's not a motorcycle. There's not a person. There's just street lights and mosquitoes. He's not there.
Yeah.
I go around the building a couple of times looking for him and thinking he may have walked around or ran around or whatever just to get away and or to not be seen. But he's not there. He's nowhere. And I came under such conviction that night that I knew what I had done, with taking the cigarettes was wrong. And that when someone comes in and needs help or wherever, I need to help those people. And I truly feel that that night I was visited by an angel. That's my thoughts. And
What else can it be?
I mean, what else could it be?
And his mission was to remind you of what you had done.
Remind me or to prod me along the path that I need to be walking. Yeah.
And again, what came to mind was you have money and you stole anyway. This guy's got nothing, is willing to pay for it, and you've got money, and what you wish now you had bought him some food to go along with a drink or whatever.
Right. I wish I had done more.
Yeah.
I wish.
And so
I had
you
done
sprint
more.
out of there, and he isn't there.
He's nowhere.
And this is decades ago.
Yeah.
But the memory doesn't go.
No, it was like it was yesterday.
It is amazing, isn't it? I mean, and who knows how many times we entertain angels, as the book of Hebrews says, right? Who knows?
Exactly. Exactly.
And this one stuck with you, convicted you again,
Well, I think of this often when I come to a situation and there's someone that's less fortunate than me. I go back to that experience, and it's kind of like, don't hold back, take care of them.
So the moment changed you.
It did. I became highly involved in nonprofits in Northeast Arkansas, and helping those who with less, who are not as privileged as others. And so that's kind of been my side mission, I guess you could say.
What's your
Yeah.
takeaway from all this, John?
Listen to your heart, and don't just let these little things you think that the little voice you hear inside your head. Normally I think that's the Holy Spirit working through you. Listen to the Holy Spirit. Do what you're supposed to do. Just be a good Christian.
Thank you for this. I do. I appreciate this.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you calling. I pray that God continues to bless you.
Thanks, John. 37 cents. What you got for 37 cents?
There will be times when your angel will come to you to give you opportunities to give alms in recompense for past transgressions.
And now John's doing nonprofit work. Interesting. And in Nick's case, once again, a little lesson when things are owed. And the woman who was just waiting for Nick, right? Just seemed to be waiting. That seems to be the case with Danny, too. My firefighting buddy from New York who's down in Florida right now doing this snowbird thing. And he's a biker. He loves to bike, and he's got some big bike rides coming up. But sometimes the angels seem to be just waiting for us.
Like out of the corner of my eye, these two fellas kind of just in unison pulled in front of me.
Yeah, there we go. Let's pause right about here. More angel stories on the way. Susan Frosch. Thanks, Susan, for joining the Patreon family to make this all go week to week, keeping us inspired with angel stories, divine interventions, prophetic dreams, visions, near-death experiences, as we say. And if you too believe that these have value and can help confirm faith and even bring people back, as we've seen that too, then we certainly appreciate the help through patreon.com. You can come here to this episode 410. Episode number 410 here at touchedbyheaven.net, or go to patreon.com and search for Trapper Jack. Thanks again, Susan. All right, let's get back to the episodes here on Touched by Heaven. Everyday encounters with God.
So do I sound okay now? I mean, is this working good?
Yeah, man. All right. We are good. And Danny's been on the podcast before. The most notable, I think you've been on a couple of times, but episode 110 comes to mind. All kinds of great angel stories out of that. It got you, when we were talking about your story, and I thought, this sounds like a part of an episode where we're just kind of, so
right.
Without further ado, just explain the day and what was going on, and because you're a bike rider. I mean, in fact, you're about to do what? You're going to do Ireland, right?
Yes, I'm going to do Ireland in May. I'm going to do it's called the Ring of Beara.
How long is that?
It's only 100 miles.
Only 100 miles.
I'm going to meet some people that I went to South Africa with the Nile Mellon Foundation. We went down to build schools, and I was there twice now in South Africa, and I met a group, and they were all doing the bike ride. So I said, I'll come over and I'll do the bike ride with you.
And then in August 2nd, what are you doing?
Going cross country, going from San Francisco. It's called Bay to Bridge. It's a ride that's going to go from San Francisco. We're going to take a ferry or something up to Portland, I guess, because it's easy to go cross country when you don't have to go over the mountains, I guess. And we're going to go north, hit the almost, I guess, I looked at the map, like Canadian border,
Oh, you're up doing what? Idaho, Montana, North Dakota stuff? What are you doing? Or?
Yep. So it's funny. It's 40 days, the ride. Sounds familiar?
Perfect. That 40 keeps popping up, doesn't it?
What is with that number 40?
What is it with that number? It's Exodus. it's Exodus. So we're setting up the bike part of this thing because one day you're down in Florida. Is this where this just happened? Florida?
I'm kind of in the middle of training now for this ride because it's already March, right? So March, April, May, June, July. I got 5 months to kind of get this together.
Right.
And so I've been riding. There's a road down here. It runs along the Atlantic Ocean. It's called A1A. It's like the East Coast version of the Pacific Coast Highway. What the riders down here are very cognizant of is the wind, right? Because when it comes, whether either north or the south, they like to ride against the wind on the first part of the ride, because generally people go north and then they come back the same equidistant back.
They want it easier going back when you're really tired.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Just you want that wind in your back on the way back, so returning. So I had gone out and played. I'm trying to learn this game called golf.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to catch on anywhere. That's just probably just a trend.
So I went out and played like 18 holes in like 90-degree weather, walking it, because that's what I do. We walk, and probably played for 4 or 5 hours, So, but I had to get my ride in, So it was like I got back around 1 o'clock. So I said, all right, I'm going to go down to the beach and park my car at the golf course, the other golf course, and ride. So not even really paying attention. I headed north because I like to go up to Delray because I'm down here in Fort Lauderdale. And boy, it was a nice, easy ride. I was like, man, this is nice. Because I wasn't even thinking about the wind. I don't know why it just didn't factor in my mind. And I was enjoying it. I was cruising at like 20, 21 miles an hour, And it went nice. And then I got to Delray and I did this turnaround and I was like, oh no. I was like, oh man. I mean, the wind was howling. I mean, it was gusting, I don't know how many miles an hour, 20, 25 miles an hour. And now I have to ride 15 miles against the wind. And I'm like, oh boy. So, now I went from doing 21 miles an hour to like 12 miles an hour. And it's like, it feels like I'm just going uphill the whole way. So I don't know, I went about 5, 6 miles or so. And this all of a sudden, the strangest thing happened. See, in bike riding, you'll notice that people, when they ride, they do what we call a peloton, right? And the guy or gal who leads, they're blocking the wind for everyone behind them, supposedly. So they run like a peloton and they draft off each other,
Like NASCAR. Same
Yes,
thing,
exactly.
right? You got
NASCAR,
cars,
drafting.
you got drafting behind the other so they can shoot out
Exactly.
from the back, yeah.
Exactly. So usually you'll see in the peloton, they'll do 45 seconds and they'll rotate. And like out of the corner of my eye, these two fellas kind of just in unison pulled in front of me. And I don't know, it just felt surreal because they just popped up, like just came out of the left and they just kind of went right in front of me.
Okay.
Together. Like,
Side by side.
Side by side. And guys, I've never seen people ride side by side. Usually we're especially on A1A because it's such a dangerous road, you're usually going in single file, right? These two guys were right together and they looked like they had a pole that was joining their bikes, And they're just chatting away. And, I don't know what the etiquette is, but I was so beat up. I just got right behind them and I just took the draft, and
I'm staying with you guys. But it's very
Yeah.
unusual, side by side. They're not doing
Yeah.
the drafting thing.
But here's the thing. We're going into the wind now that's gusting probably 20, 25 miles an hour. And these guys are going like 21 miles an hour. And they're talking conversationally. Like they're just like chatting away, And I'm like, and then all of a sudden, like I don't know, this ride that was like torturous became like, I felt like I was like an eagle up catching drafts off the canyons in a ravine. Like I was just like floating.
You're catching thermals.
I was just catching them, and I cruised behind these guys. Probably we were doing about 20 or 21 miles an hour. I mean, I just watched my speedometer and it just kept going up and up and up, and I was like, and it was no effort. It was just like I was just pedaling like nothing was happening, So we went for like 8 miles. And I saw that I knew I only had like another quarter mile to go, but there's a bridge that goes right before my exit, So the bridge was up, of course, and I have the greatest luck with bridges. They're always up down here in the intracoastal, So we got to about almost like close to the bridge, and the one guy pulled over, and the other guy kind of broke off somewhere, and then like they looked like they were set for like a 50-mile ride, and they've only gone like 8 miles now, right? So now I got up to him and I said, "Oh, guy," I said, "I have to thank you. I'm sorry for drafting off you guys." But he goes, I said, "I'm just beat. I'm out of juice, man. I'm out of gas." And he looked at me and he said something which was very unusual. He said, "Well, you're going to need your energy, right?" I was like, so anyway, so I figured we'd go another like 100 or so feet and then we'd just chat while the bridge is up, And I got up to the foot of the bridge. I turned around. They're both gone. I'm like, where did they go? Like, you just can't like just disappear from a bike lane.
There was nowhere to go.
Well, I mean, no, like, because I just turned around and I figured we would just catch up and hey,
What are you talking? 5 seconds, 10, 15? How many seconds?
Yeah, I just like he said that, and I went another maybe few feet, and then I stopped. I turned around, and then I said, "Where did these guys go? They're gone."
Don't you love it? Don't you love it?
And that was it. And then the bridge came back down, and I did my remaining whatever quarter mile, but that it's just the way he said that though. He said, "You're going to need your energy." I was like, "Wow, what does that mean?" And that was it. Then he was gone, and
you're going to need your energy. We just talked about you're going to be biking 100 miles in Ireland, but the big ones across America in August.
Yes.
40 days. Yeah. I mean, where does that comment come from other than you're going to need your energy? You know, that's kind of like, I know what you're doing, pal. One of those moments.
Imagine that though, like just, it's crazy that he said that because that's why I'm training so hard. I'm like just trying to, I got to get these miles in for this ride, and I just, it was more the feeling I had though, because the way they came in, it was almost like they were waiting. It was almost like they were waiting for me,
right.
Like as soon as I got, like it's maybe within 10 feet, they were boom, right in front of me.
Side by side.
And they stayed together the whole time for 8 miles. Just talking at a conversational pace doing 21 miles an hour. And I just enjoyed the ride.
Yeah. Wow. Well, a couple of things here. You assume they were who?
Well, I don't know if they were angels, but God put them there for whether they were human beings or angels, I don't know.
Well, people generally can't disappear in half a second, Generally.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where did they go? That's what I...
Well, you've had some angel encounters as a firefighter. You certainly have seen the effects of angels.
Yeah.
Go back to episode 110. Anybody wants to hear about...
yeah, I know, right? It's just, you can't make this stuff up. It's just, it's divine providence. Yeah. And God is so involved in the fire service, we're his hands, like we're doing his work for him, It's just can't be a coincidence. It's just because I wonder sometimes if I could see all this stuff, how strong would your faith be? I think of like what Christ said to Thomas, he says, blessed are those that believe and don't see,
What's your takeaway in all this?
I think the takeaway is like that we've said over and over is that God, he still exists, and it didn't end with the revelation, it's still going on.
The book's still open.
I think so. Yeah, it's still being written. I think it's still being written, and I think there's more to come. Yeah, so it's funny, not everything that angels do is like life-saving. They do little things too, I think, just to keep our lives, sane.
And they all stay in shape because they all get that bike ride in.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
All right, Danny.
Never ends, Trap. I love you, brother. All
right, Danny. Thank you so much. Bike riding angels. Love it. And let's see. Sometimes looking disheveled. Angels love the costumes. I tell you, disheveled in a store with 37 cents or waiting there beside the store. It's fascinating how the costume department is just incredible in heaven. Thanks again for listening. Thanks for your stories, too. Need your stories. Let me know here at touchedbyheaven.net. And I'll see you next week here at Touched by Heaven. Everyday encounters with God. I'm Trapper Jack. And I'll ask John this. John, what do you think? You've been now inside this giant, empty, palatial studio.
There's not a car. There's not a bicycle. There's not a motorcycle. There's not a person. There's just streetlights and mosquitoes.